Hi, I'm Mrs. Amodemo and this is Penny. Welcome to our neighborhood nature walk. This is our third episode. And before we go for a walk, my friends, I want to talk to you about one thing. Penny's vibrating, she's ready to go. We are going to be specifically looking for camouflage today. C-A-M-O-U-F-L-A-G-E. Camouflage. I know it's a funny spelled word, but camouflage, well, let me ask you, do you know what camouflage is? What do you think, Penny? Penny says camouflage is the ability to blend in with your environment. What does that mean? That means animals and insects have ways of looking like the things, the plants around them or the things around them to keep them safe. Like tigers have stripes, and those stripes help them blend in the grass. Or penguins have what they call counter shading. That means when they're in the water, the black on their back, if an animal's looking down at them, they can't see them. They look like the bottom of the ocean. And if they're underneath their white belly, when they look up, they just think it's a sunny spot on the ocean. So we're gonna go for our neighborhood nature walk, specifically looking for animals using camouflage. And then we're gonna talk a little bit about plants, because you know I love plants, and we're gonna check in on the robins. Let's get started. You ready, Penny? Let's go.
Remember, we're looking for animals using camouflage. What do you see?
All right, my friends, we have just found something really, really interesting. Can you see it? I walked right by it the first time. We have got a little bitty turtle hanging out in the yard. He's over by the fence. You can see his face. I keep saying he, but we're gonna check in a second, see if it's a boy or a girl. If you run into these little box turtles, my friends, if you want to pick them up and look at them real quick, keep your fingers away from the face, but always put them down. They do not make good pets. Do not take them into the house and try and make them pets. They're protected in New York State and you can get in trouble. All right, my friends, so I'm gonna pick the turtle up to see if it's a boy or a girl. And the way you can tell is if it's flat on the bottom of the shell, it's a girl, and if it's concave like the edge of a bowl, then you're looking at a boy. He is probably, or she is probably not gonna like me picking him up, so we'll see. Hi. And we have a boy. That's a boy turtle. You can see how the shell's concaved in. And you can see this is why it's called a box turtle. See how it's pulled the box up in towards the shell to make it nice and closed, and he's pulled his feet in. I can touch them, but he's gonna scare him. See, you can see the claws. And you can see here's the edge of the foot. I don't really wanna hurt him. The shell is actually part of the turtle's lungs. So this is just a nice little box turtle, beautiful little animal. And again, I don't want to do anything to hurt it, so I'm going to put it back down and I'm going to walk away. Keep an eye out for these sort of things when you're walking around your yards. There's all kinds of really cool things in nature that you can see if you take the time to look. All right?
Here are a couple of quick facts about box turtles. Box turtles are reptiles like snakes and lizards. They have a hard outer shell for protection. The shell is like our rib cage. The shell protects the turtle from predators. It blends in, and the turtle uses the shell for camouflage so that it's difficult to see when it's in the grass.
All right, my friends, before we go too much further, let's review the parts of the plant. So I'm looking at this plant, and do you remember what this plant's called? This is a strawberry plant. I know because I grow them in the hydroponic garden and you've seen them before. All right, my friends, so let's talk parts of the plant. What is this part? You're right, this is the leaves. The leaves do what? What's their job? Correct, the leaves make food for the plant. All right, my friends, so what about this part? What are we looking at? You're right, this is the flower. And again, what's the job of that flower? Correct, the job of the flower is to make seeds. And if I look right here, my friends, what do I call these long pieces that are holding up the flower? What do I call those? Yeah, that's the stem. And what's the job of the stem? Oh, I already said it. You're right, I did. What is it? What's the job? Yeah, the stem supports the plant. It holds the plant up. And then, my friends, down in the ground, you can't see them, and I'm not digging up my strawberry plant. Down in the ground, what is the part that's growing in the ground? Yeah, it's the roots. And what do we know about the roots? Ooh, they do two things. What two things? Yeah, they hold the plant in place and they take in water and nutrients. Nice job, my friends. You know what? Let's go look and talk a little bit more just about the flower. So let's do that. We're gonna go see what we can find out about flowers. All right, my friends, Penny and I decided we should talk to you today about flowers. But before we do that, let's review parts of the plant. So look right here, my friends. What is this part called? Yeah, that's the flower. What's this? That's the stem. What is this? You're right, that's one of the leaves. And under the ground, what's the part growing under the ground that holds the plant in place? Yeah, those are the roots. Now, my friends, back to the flower. What do we call these red pieces that are around the flower? They're beautiful. What do we call them? Yeah, those are the petals. And then if you look inside, we can see the different parts of the flower. And we've talked about these parts before, but that tall piece that's got 3 pieces coming off of it is the pistil, and those black parts coming around are where the pollen actually is. Those are called the stamen, and the pollen has to get from the stamen to the pistil for the flower to make seeds. All right, my friends, flowers grow in lots of different places. If you look above me, you're going to see some beautiful pink flowers growing. These type of flowers grow in bunches called florets. We're going to look at a couple other plants that have florets. All right, my friends, Penny brought us over here to look at these flowers. We're going to talk about them in a second, but before we do, I have a question for you. Can you think of colors that you've seen flowers in? Can you think of them? What are some of the colors you've seen? Red, orange, yellow. There are blue flowers, purple. Yeah, flowers come in almost every color of the rainbow, including white and black. There are black flowers, although you could argue they're a really deep purple. But there's a lot to look at when you look at flowers, and we're going to talk about these. All right, my friends, this flower is locally called cotton candy tuft. I'm gonna have to look up what its real name is, but one of the things I thought was interesting was looking at the flowers. If you can see, they're made up of a bunch of little bitty flowers all put together to form one flower. Each one of those little yellow pieces is the center of its own individual flower. Very, very different from the tulips and daffodils we were looking at before.
Friends, these are just some of the flowers Penny and I have seen as we've walked around our neighborhood. As you can tell, lots of different colors and shapes.
All right, my friends, these are called bleeding hearts. They are a shade plant, and again, just another really interesting looking type of flower. You can see that these actually hang down, and the pollinators crawl up inside to get to the pollen and the nectar, and that pretty much guarantees that the plants get pollinated. All right, my friends, this is a different kind of bleeding heart, and you can see from the flowers why the name is bleeding heart. And just like the other one, it is designed so that the pollinator has to kind of climb up inside the flower so that they can pollinate. They're beautiful, aren't they? All right, my friends, this is the lungwort from our first video, and you can see it's got little tiny pink flowers, and just like the bleeding heart, they kind of hang down, and so the pollinator has to almost crawl up inside them to pollinate. And then this, with this beautiful purple, is a type of nettle, or at least I think it's a type of nettle. And you can see you get a beautiful, beautiful reddish leaf with this bright purple flower. All right, my friends, I know you wanted us to check in with the robins. I'm gonna go look and see what's going on in the nest. I will tell you that they hatched about 10 days ago, and I'll show you some video from what they looked like before, and then I'll show you what they look like now.
On day 1, the baby robins hatched. They were born with their eyes closed. Day 4, their feathers have started to grow in. Here we are at day 7. You can see they've got a lot more feathers. Here we are today at day 10. Their eyes have opened and their feathers have grown in. They're starting to look a lot more like the mama robin. That is the mama robin you hear chirping. She's a good mommy and has been taking care of her babies. In a few days, the babies will jump out of the nest. It will take them another 10 to 15 days to learn how to fly and become strong flyers like their mom. That's Mommy. She's trying to get me to follow her so I'll get away from her babies.
All right, my friends, I hope you enjoyed your neighborhood nature walk. Remember, when you go on your own, stay on the sidewalk. And if you see an animal, a turtle, baby birds, make sure you don't touch the baby birds at all. And if you're going to pick up a box turtle, you've got to put it back exactly where you found it, all right? You've got to be very careful. They are not pets. They're wild animals, and they can bite, so you've got to be careful. Get an adult to be with you. I hope you enjoyed this video. Have a great day. Bye.